Hi guys, I'm Raccoon, and today's recap is the first season of the anime How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. A game otaku travels to another world as a demon lord. The time he arrives he harvests two girls as his slaves. He doesn't know how to train slaves, so he pushes the cat-eared girl down on the bed and begins to blow her ears, making the cat-eared girl gasp. The otaku guy is playing games at home not long ago, and suddenly he is transported to another world and kissed on the cheek by two young girls. At this time, he finds that he has actually become the character of the game he played not long ago, the demon lord Diablo. At that moment two beautiful girls are standing in front of him, and Diablo realizes that he may have traveled into the game world. It turns out that the two girls used summoning not long ago and inadvertently summoned Diablo to another world. Now the two of them are arguing over who is the owner of Diablo. Diablo has social phobia in the real world and does not know how to stop the two from arguing. So he plans to pretend to use the tone of the demon lord to order the two not to quarrel. But he doesn't expect that the next moment the two girls would really shake hands and reconcile. With two more collars around their necks representing enslavement. Diablo recalls that he has equipped his game character with rings that reflected all magic not long before. The spell summoned by the two girls just now reflects back, and now the two girls are Diablo's slaves. The three of them introduce each other's identities. The yellow-haired girl is named Shara, the cat-eared girl is named Rem, and Diablo calls himself the Demon Lord. Shara and Rem don't want to be someone else's slaves, and Diablo doesn't want to take advantage, so the three decide to return to the town to find a way to free themselves from slavery. The three find a hotel and stay in the same room. When Diablo is still fantasizing about what will happen with the two beautiful girls at night, Celestine, the president of the Wizards Guild, appears and calls them away. Celestine discovers the slave collars around the necks of the two girls and asks Diablo to disarm the magic. But since it is reflex magic, Diablo doesn't know how to lift it. Because Diablo is not good at communicating with people, his tone is relatively indifferent, which upsets the magician behind Celestine, and the two almost break out into a quarrel. Celestine comes this time to take Rem with her, saying that Rem's life is very important to the world. However, Rem does not want to be tied down and decisively turns Celestine down. Celestine has a lofty status in the game world, and Diablo guesses that Rem must have a very important secret. In order not to put himself in danger, after Celestine leaves, Diablo carries Rem to the room, intending to dig out the secret. But Diablo doesn't know how to do it. He can only push Rem to the bed and blows into her ear, which coincidentally is the most sensitive part of her body, and turns her face red. In the end, Diablo bites Rem's ear, and Rem can't stand it and finally confesses her secret. It turns out that Rem's body contains the soul of Krebscume, the demon lord of this world, and the soul of the demon lord cannot be destroyed. The demon lord will be released as soon as Rem dies. If other demons know about it, Rem will be in a very dangerous situation. Diablo is a gamer himself, so he knows that Krebscume is the strongest demon lord in this gaming world. Still, he says he will protect Rem. Rem is moved to tears. This is the first time that someone else has heard this secret and has not abandoned her. At night, Diablo goes out alone to take a break. But then he meets a magician next to Celestine not long ago to provoke. The magician is drunk and wants to make Diablo pay for his previous rude behavior. He summons a warcraft with a level of more than 30. The flames spewed by this warcraft instantly engulf Diablo. And soon Diablo walks out of the sea of flame and despises the warcraft because his level is 150. After raising the wand in his hand to release the skill, Diablo instantly destroys the monster in front of him, which scares the magician to the side. Perhaps because of Celestine, Diablo spares his life, warns him, and leaves. When Diablo wakes up, his hand is on Shara and Rem's bodies, and it is the first time that the two girls have been touched by others, making them particularly shy. After that, Diablo plans to find a way to get rid of the demon lord in Rem's body. However, during this period, they have to gain living expenses, so they decide to go to the Adventurers Guild to take on some tasks. The three come to the Adventurers Guild. This world uses levels to divide the strong and the weak. Rem is a level 40 summoning warlock. Shara has not yet tested the level, so she presses her hand on the mirror of the Adventurers Guild to rate the level. Shara's level is about 30. When it is Diablo's turn to test the level, the mirror actually produces a violent magic fluctuation, alarming Sylvie, the leader of the Adventurers Guild. Sylvie assumes that Diablo's rank is too high for the mirror to test. At present, there is only one task that can be assigned to Diablo at such a high level. That is, to go to the nearby Warcraft forest to collect the eyes of a snake-like Warcraft. They haven't sensed anything wrong until they get to the forest. Shara relies on the special induction of the elf race, and actually senses the breath of humans. Diablo gets vigilant, under Shara's instructions, and fires a lot of fireballs nearby. The next moment, a lot of elf people fall from the trees. It turns out that Shara is the princess of the elf family, and this group of elves is specially ambushed here to bring Shara back. Shara doesn't want to go back, because the elves take her back to force her to marry other tribes, and she doesn't want to marry someone she doesn't like and lose her freedom. Rem and Diablo support Shara's spirit of rebellion against fate and plan to fight to the end. The elves on the opposite side take out their bows and arrows and begin to shoot, but the attack is completely ineffective on Diablo. At this time, the elves take out a green arrow, which Diablo immediately recognizes as low-level equipment in the game. But Shara is nervous. This arrow is claimed to be a powerful armor-breaking arrow given by the Elf King, and if anyone is shot, he will be seriously injured. However, Diablo is hit by an arrow but is unharmed. Seeing that the elf people on the opposite side still refuse to give up, Diablo uses a large range of ice magic, completely freezing the elves in place. At this time, a magician appears on the side, and it turns out that all this is a trap set by this magician. Diablo warns the magician that there will be consequences if he ever dares to target them. Rem also says that she will go to Celestine to complain, and the magician flees in a panic. At this point, Shera tells the elves that she will never go back and that she is now Rem and Diablo's partner. Diablo is called a partner for the first time, and he is particularly touched. At night, Rem goes to look for Celestine and hasn't come back yet. Only Shera and Diablo are left in the hotel. In this world, girls always worship the strong. Shera has been impressed by Diablo's powerful ability, so she asks Diablo not to only focus on Rem, but also to pay attention to her. She does not want to be captured by the elves, saying that she pounces on Diablo, who is a little nervous for a while, and instinctively wants to push Shera away, but touches Shera's body instead, making Shera blush. Just when the two are about to do something, Rem pushes the door and looks at the intimate scene between the two, acting very jealous. The next morning, the three continue to go to the Adventurers Guild to receive the mission, and Sylvie tells the three that Celestine personally issues them an easy and rewarding mission to make up for the mistakes made by her men. But Rem does not want to owe Celestine favors. Diablo keeps Rem in the Adventurers Guild for the time being, and he and Shera go to complete the mission. This time the mission is to deliver supplies to a nearby town. Diablo and Shera are about to set off, when a blonde man Emil appears next to him. Diablo hears from Emil that he is now seen by others as a perverted demon who kidnaps girls, and Emil comes to save Shera and Rem. Emil is the strongest warrior in the Adventurers Guild, reaching level 50. Without waiting for Diablo to explain, Emil launches an attack, but to confront level 150 Diablo, Emil's attack is useless. In the end, Diablo easily defeats Emil, and Shera and Rem quickly explain the ins and outs to Emil to clear up the misunderstandings. Emil sincerely apologizes and says that Diablo can come to him if he needs help in the future. Soon after, Diablo and Shera rush to a nearby town with supplies, and they find that the soldiers on this side are very nervous, and when they ask, they learn that a group of demons appear near the town, and it seems that they are planning to attack the town. It occurs to Diablo that in the game world, the demons are generally small bosses, and they rarely appear in groups. He guesses that this group of demons should have known that Rem has sealed the demon lord in her body, and this time the demons come to kill Rem to save the demon lord. Diablo has planned to go back to Rem's side, but seeing that the soldiers are willing to sacrifice their lives to protect the town for the sake of the people in the town, Diablo finally decides to stay and help the soldiers. At this moment Celestine finds Rem, who has expelled the magician who targets them from the Magician's Guild, and he is unwilling to be expelled and sacrifices his life to summon the demon lord and wants revenge. Celestine sees the bad situation and flees with Rem. On the other side, the demon army appears, led by a white-haired demon girl named Edelgard. Diablo tells the soldiers to back off to fight alone. With Diablo's powerful strength, this group of demon clans is not an opponent at all, and Diablo defeats dozens of demon clans in a short time. Edelgard can't stand it anymore and decides to confront Diablo. It's just that Edelgard's attack still can't hurt Diablo. Diablo guesses that Edelgard's level is around 80, and Edelgard sees that Diablo is so powerful, she actually sacrifices her life to launch a more powerful attack. Diablo doesn't dodge to let Edelgard attack at will to test his endurance. Diablo finds that he has indeed been hurt a little, but there is no particular pain. At this time, the soldiers in the rear come with news that Celestine and Rem are being attacked by the demons, and Diablo realizes that the demons have infiltrated the town. In order to leave as soon as possible, Diablo no longer pulls any punches. He sends out a white ball of gleam, and the moment the white ball of gleam lands, a strong energy erupts, instantly defeating all the demons in front of him. Although Edelgard is still alive, she loses all her power. Diablo immediately uses teleportation magic to rush back to town. At this moment, Celestine and Rem are under attack from the demon. But fortunately, Emil appears and holds it for a while. However, Emil is not an opponent of the demon. Just when they are about to die, Diablo finally arrives. He is irritated when he sees Rem injured, so he unleashes dark magic to suppress the demon, and then uses his skills to imprison the demon forever to the dark space. Shera pounces on Diablo, and Rem also steps forward to thank Diablo. Diablo does not know how to respond to the girl's gratitude. He says that because Rem is her slave, he will protect her instead. Unexpectedly, Rem is not angry, but very happy. At this time, Shera says that she is also a slave of Diablo. Diablo has never been treated like this. He is so happy that he faints right away. Because of consuming much more magic this time, Diablo plans to lie in bed and rest for a few days but doesn't expect Shera to change her clothes and sit on Diablo. Shera hears Sylvie say that as long as she does this, the man will quickly recover his spirits. Rem is very jealous when she sees this scene and immediately hugs Diablo. Before Diablo can enjoy the beautiful girl's hug, Sylvie appears and tells them that it turns out that the Elf Kingdom has issued an order for them to hand over Shera within 10 days or they start a war against the Human Kingdom. In addition, Shera's brother also issues a sky-high bounty mission to Shera, and Sylvie hopes that Diablo will stop the war. Diablo is agitated. He vows that he will never put Shera in danger. Shera is very touched and hugs Diablo tightly, almost suffocating Diablo. In order to stop the war, Diablo decides to visit the lord of the town first. It is rumored that this lord is very powerful, and he had defeated many demon clans many years ago, and no one knows his level so far. The lord doesn't intend to help Diablo but tells Diablo that an army of elf tribes, about 100 or so, is ambushed near the town, and lets them solve the problem on their own. Fortunately, to stop the war, the human king sends a female knight to assist them. Her name is Alicia. Alicia is very good at making friends with others, and within a few moments, she becomes good friends with Rem and Shara, which makes Diablo very envious. Before heading to the forest, Diablo goes to the weapons shop to pick up a lower level weapon, in case he hurts the innocent elves if his power goes out of control. Diablo is approached by Celestine, who tells them that the owner is said to have known how to crack slave necklaces at the slave market. Diablo considers Shara and Rem his partners, and he decides to go to the slave market to solve the problem of slave collars before settling the war between the two countries. The female owner of the slave market immediately agrees to help after seeing Diablo's recommendation letter from Celestine. But this disarming spell is very mysterious and the number of people present is limited. So Shara and Diablo are left behind for the time being. The owner asks Shara to change into a very sexy outfit, and she also instructs Diablo to touch Shara's body and observe the flow of magic in Shara's body. Once it's time, she orders Diablo to inject magic into Shara's abdomen, and Shara feels so comfortable that she cries out. All of them return to the hotel at night. Shara's slave magic still exists because of the chaotic flow of magic in her body. Diablo fails to find the root of the slave spell in the first place, and it will take a lot of time to slowly lift it in the future. After understanding the situation, Alicia is about to leave the room and go back to rest. Shara's elf brother Kira appears at the door when a whistle rings, and Diablo immediately angrily questions Kira why he has issued a bounty to his sister. Kira explains that it is just a misunderstanding. He just wants the adventurers to rescue Shara, and it is also a misunderstanding that the Elf King is going to start the war against humans. It is just the Elf King's angry talk. Kira then says that he will give his sister a night to think about it, and if Shara does not plan to go back the next day, he will respect her decision. But if Shara agrees, Diablo can't stop it either. Shara and Rem talk a lot that night, and Shara says that she won't follow her brother back to the Elf Kingdom, and she now regards Diablo and Rem as her family. At the moment, Kira is talking to himself alone in the dark. It turns out that Kira is a pervert who actually fancies his sister, and wants to make babies with Shara. The next day, Alicia and Rem go out, intending to inform the Lord of the news that the Elf King will start the war, leaving Diablo and Shara alone. Diablo takes advantage of this time to make a lot of recovery potions. When there is a sound of a flute outside the door, Diablo doesn't notice that Shara's expression becomes a little sluggish. Diablo finds that Kira appears downstairs in the hotel, and Shara states that she wants to return to the Elf Kingdom. According to the agreement with Kira yesterday, Diablo cannot stop her as long as Shara wants it. Diablo thinks that Shara has given him the cold shoulder, so he lies in bed alone sadly. Rem tells Diablo that Shara made up her mind last night that she would not be returning to the Elf Kingdom. Perhaps Shara is controlled by psychic magic, and Diablo reminds himself of Kira's flute, and he has already guessed that Shara might have been controlled by Kira. Diablo recalls the recent memories of Shara being together, and he can't give up on Shara as a partner. So Diablo and Rem decide to rescue Shara. At this moment, Shara has been tied up by Kira, and Kira's perverted nature finally breaks out. Kira summons slimes who specialize in eating human clothes, and the slime wraps around Shara's body and gradually eats her clothes up. When Kira is going to do something perverted to Shara, Diablo finally arrives to save Shara. Kira sees that something is wrong and rushes out to call for guards, only to find that his camp has been destroyed by Diablo. Now Diablo just wants Shara to say what she really wants, and Kira also wants to cast a spell to control Shara. At this time Diablo also activates the slave collar and orders Shara to tell her real thoughts. Under the impact of two forces, Kira's magic fails. Shara bares her heart. She wants to be free, and wants to stay by Diablo's side. Seeing that the situation is out of his control, Kira actually performs a forbidden spell and summons the legendary Hydra that can destroy the world. Diablo has not heard of this monster in the game world, so he performs a meteorite trick to test Hydra, and Hydra is smashed off a head by a meteorite, only to grow out another one the next moment. The furious Hydra begins to attack the surroundings. When he is thinking about how to deal with the Hydra that can be automatically revived, Shara tells Diablo that the legendary Hydra's body has a core inside, and as long as the core is destroyed, the Hydra can be sealed again. Knowing the solution, Diablo rushes to the bottom of Hydra's abdomen and launches a powerful lightning spell, which completely destroys Hydra's body in an instant, sealing Hydra again. After solving Hydra, Diablo intends to kill the perverted Kira. Shara steps forward to intercede for the reason that he's her brother after all, and she asks Diablo to spare Kira once. Diablo sees the crying Shara and eventually agrees to let Kira go. The moment Kira walks out, he is killed. The person who does it is the Lord of the vicinity, who has been secretly observing the situation, and he deliberately allows the two sides to fight and benefits from the tussle as the third party. He also plans to kidnap Princess Shara to wage war against the Elf Kingdom so that he can easily win. The Lord unleashes a high level of confinement magic to trap Diablo. At this moment, the Lord has lost his sanity, even ignores the pleas from the female knight Alicia, and cuts off the sword in Alicia's hand. Diablo realizes that the Lord's level is at least above level 100, and seeing that everyone is in crisis, Diablo finally shows his full strength. He unleashes his magic to defeat the Lord's confinement magic. The Lord seems to have expected such an outcome, and he immediately rushes to Diablo and launches a quick attack with his sword. He knows that as a magician, it is impossible to withstand close fighting. However, he still underestimates Diablo, who has learned how to restrain such tricks in the game world to prevent him from close fighting. Diablo uses a mine to blast the Lord, and then immediately places a mine spell on the ground that can't be seen with the naked eye, and the Lord tries to get close with his own body but he still misses it. Diablo seizes the opportunity to unleash a continuous magic attack and finally defeats the Lord. However, Diablo spares the Lord's life but lets out the words, if the Lord dares to attack them again, he will completely destroy him, and in the end, the Lord can only retreat. Shera throws herself into Diablo's arms crying because of her brother's tragic death, and the matter comes to an end. Diablo returns to the hotel to rest since he has consumed too much mana. Sylvie shows up with a bottle of wine. It is said that drinking alcohol can quickly restore magic, and Diablo gets drunk after drinking one glass of wine. He starts to act crazy, mistaking Sylvie for a body pillow. He grabs and caresses her. Just when Sylvie is about to lose it, Diablo falls asleep. Meanwhile, Alicia has returned to the royal capital to report the matter to the Human King. She meets the paladin Saddler when she is going to find Diablo back in town. Saddler says that there has been a recent prophecy, that the Demon Lord would be resurrected in the western town when he knows the location Alicia is heading to. He plans to go with Alicia to investigate. At this moment, Shera learns summoning magic under Rem's teaching, and a strange bird is summoned. The bird is not aggressive and can only share the vision with the summoner. Since it's Shera's first shot, she has decided to use the contract stone to complete the master-servant relationship with the bird. Diablo has never seen a contract stone, so he takes one and plans to study it. That's when Shera notices that Rem smells a bit and decides to take a bath by the river together. There is no such thing as a swimsuit in this world. The two girls strip naked and jump into the river, which makes Diablo on the side instantly blush, only daring to hide behind the stone. Diablo can't help but want to look back, only to hear a scream from Rem. It turns out that Rem is caught by Edelgard of the Demon Clan, and when Shera and Rem get dressed, Edelgard explains her intentions. It turns out that Edelgard has heard that Rem's body is sealed with the Demon Lord, and the reason she keeps Rem alive is that she can't kill the host if she wants to save the Demon Lord, and says that Rem, as the host of the Demon Lord, will enjoy the preferential treatment as the Demon Lord's mother. Clearly, Edelgard knows the way to release the Demon Lord. Although Diablo is worried that he is not the opponent of the Demon Lord in Rem's body, he wants Rem to completely get rid of this trouble. So Diablo and Edelgard agree to meet in a nearby magic tower in 3 days. Edelgard will tell him how to release the Demon Lord when the time comes. They come back to town, and at this time Alicia comes over. Alicia tells them that the paladin Saddler has also come to the town. Saddler's level exceeds 100 and he is very strong. The point is that Saddler is very perverted. He claims to be the incarnation of the god, and he hates everything about the Demon Lord, and he will kill the one who is related to Demon Lord. Alicia hopes that Diablo will stay at the hotel during this time and not go out. Unfortunately, all of them are still met by Saddler. Diablo wants to leave quickly, so he subconsciously calls himself the Great Demon Lord, and just after saying it, he realizes that he has said the wrong thing. Alicia explains that it's a bad joke from Diablo, but Saddler doesn't care about this. As long as it is related to the Demon Lord, he would never let go of it, even if it is a joke. So Saddler confidently launches a petrified attack on Diablo, but it reflects because Diablo is wearing a ring of reflective magic. Saddler is petrified by his magic and his men take him to flee away. Since Alicia has been by their side recently, Rem and Shera feel that Alicia is trustworthy, so Rem tells Alicia about the Demon Lord inside her body. Looking at the scene of the three girls hugging together, Diablo always feels that something is wrong. 3 days later, the four of them arrive at the magic tower according to the agreement with Edelgard. Edelgard tells them that they need to strengthen the soul of the Demon Lord Krebscume through the magic array above the magic tower so that the Demon Lord can leave Rem's body. The Demon Lord's soul is hidden deep inside Rem's body, and it takes a cut in Rem's stomach to be rescued by Diablo injecting powerful mana. But then Rem might die, and Edelgard comes up with a way to let Diablo reach out and inject magic in the hole between Rem's legs. Diablo is shocked. He doesn't dare to do such an indecent thing to Rem. However, to completely get rid of the Demon Lord, Rem agrees with her face blushing. At Rem's request, Diablo injects magic into Rem's body with his eyes closed. The next moment the Demon Lord appears in midair, and Rem asks Diablo to defeat Krebscume at all costs. Surprisingly, Krebscume is a little lolly, and just when Diablo is about to fight Krebscume, everyone discovers that Krebscume has amnesia, and even forgets why she wants to destroy mankind. Rem and Shera quickly persuade Krebscume not to follow the same old disastrous road since she can't recall it, and killing is a bad thing. Krebscume takes their words and decides to give up destroying mankind. Unexpectedly, Alicia is getting upset. She doesn't understand why the Demon Lord decides not to wipe out the mortal. At this time, Krebscume says that she is hungry, and Shera quickly takes out some cookies for Krebscume. Krebscume is very happy after eating. She is enamored with the taste of cookies and wants to eat up the cookies in the world after her resurrection. In this way, everyone solves the crisis of the Demon Lord. But on the way back to the town, they meet the demon who follows the previous generation of demon lords, Ulrix. Ulrix has lived longer than the demon lord, and Ulrix finds that Krebscume doesn't have the intention to destroy mankind, and regards Krebscume as an incomplete demon lord. So Ulrix decides to kill the current demon lord to resurrect the real demon lord. Ulrix finds that he is no match for Diablo, so he decides to sneak up on Krebscume. But Rem pounces on Krebscume and saves her, and Ulrix flees knowing that there is no chance today. Krebscume decides to return to town with Diablo. Edelgard goes to a nearby forest to wait for the demon lord's call since she is unable to go to the human town. Due to the excessive consumption of mana today, Diablo lies on the bed as soon as he returns to the hotel, and in order to help Diablo recover his spirits, Shara throws herself into Diablo's arms again, and Krebscume is very curious and hugs Diablo like Shara. With the help of the two, Diablo instantly restores all the mana. At this moment, Alicia is alone in the room. Her true face is finally shown. It turns out that Alicia has been taught by her parents since she was a child. She is used to seeing the evil nature of human beings, so she must find a way to make Krebscume get her memory back to completely destroy mankind and rebirth this world. After that, Shara takes Krebscume around every day to enjoy food. Rem gradually accepts Krebscume. On this day, Diablo and Shara suddenly discover that Krebscume and Rem are missing. They find no one when they return to the hotel. Diablo has a bad feeling and hurries out to look for them. At this moment, Alicia brings Krebscume and Rem into an alley, and Alicia has heard that the resurrection of the demon lord Krebscume is incomplete just with magic, and Rem finally realizes that Alicia wants to resurrect the demon lord who wants to destroy humanity. Krebscume hears Alicia say she is incomplete and angrily offers to burn Alicia. Unexpectedly, Alicia says that she is willing to be the first human to be killed by Krebscume for the rebirth of mankind. At this moment, Saddler, who has disarmed the petrification magic, appears, and it turns out that Alicia has joined forces with Saddler, and Saddler takes Rem away in revenge on Diablo. Saddler takes Rem to a room full of various torture instruments, and he plans to torture Rem. That's when Alicia shows up, and she wants Rem to ask Krebscume for help. Nobody can stop Krebscume as long as she makes a move. But Rem turns the offer down, and she does not want Krebscume to kill again. Diablo has searched for a long time, but there is no sign of Rem. When news comes that a paladin has taken Rem and a little girl to the church in the north, Diablo rushes over. At the moment Saddler is torturing Rem. Krebscume is furious and wants to make a move, but is knocked away by Saddler. Krebscume exposes the true face of the demon because her clothes are torn, and Saddler thinks that Krebscume is just a little girl, and now finds out that she is a demon and wants to kill her. Rem breaks free and uses her body to block Krebscume's attack, and Saddler thinks Rem is in the way and stabs several swords into Rem's body. This action completely makes Krebscume fly into a rage. Krebscume restores her real form, and Rem finally realizes that the way to fully awaken the demon lord is to make Krebscume feel hatred. With just one easy blow, Krebscume bursts out with powerful energy that completely destroys Saddler. At this moment, Diablo also sees Krebscume's magical glow, and he gives Shara some healing potions, telling Shara to rescue Rem, while Diablo goes to fight the runaway Krebscume. At this moment, Edelgard and Ulrix appear outside the town with the demon army. Alicia shows up to join them, and Alicia confesses that she plans to create someone important to Krebscume and destroy it, and now her plan is about to succeed, and real demon lord will be resurrected very soon. At this time, Diablo has confronted Krebscume, who is completely out of control. Krebscume is worthy of being the most powerful demon lord in this world. Her destructive power is astonishing. She is unharmed even if she encounters Diablo's magic reflection. To protect the surrounding humans, Diablo does not dare to use powerful spells but only passively dodges. At this moment, Shara finds Rem, uses up all the healing potions to finally save Rem's life, and the two rush to the scene to watch the fight between Diablo and Krebscume. Diablo finally figures out a way to fight Krebscume, and he arranges a powerful magic array as he runs. When it's time, Diablo launches the magic array, and the huge magic glow instantly envelopes Krebscume. But the next moment Krebscume stands up again. Shara helps Rem and beckons to Krebscume. Rem stretches out her hand to enchant Krebscume, comforting her that everything is over. Come back and eat cookies together. The next moment Krebscume's huge body is shattered. Krebscume regains her senses and turns into a little lolly again, and the three girls hug each other and cry. Edelgard, outside the town, notices that Krebscume's aura has weakened, and already guessed that Krebscume is not going to destroy humanity. She tells Alicia to run, and she sneaks in, attacking Ulrix, who is intending to attack the town. After the crisis is resolved, Sylvie comes to tell everyone that Krebscume is too dangerous to be staying in the human town. But Krebscume doesn't want to part with him. Diablo notices the slave collar around Shara's neck. She could stay here if he makes Krebscume his slave. With the persuasion of Shara and Rem, Krebscume finally agrees to become Diablo's slave, and Diablo shouts the contract stone and kisses Krebscume on her lips. The contract is made, and Krebscume becomes Diablo's slave. The group returns to the hotel in the town. Just as Alicia rushes out and kidnaps Shara to make Krebscume rescue the injured Edelgard, Krebscume intervenes to save Edelgard, and Alicia sees that Edelgard is okay and finally lays down her weapon and leaves it at everyone's disposal. After hearing Alicia's story, Diablo realizes that Alicia's situation is very similar to what happened to him before, and the two of them have encountered the ugly side of human nature, except that Diablo chooses to insist on being himself and not being influenced by the outside world. Diablo persuades Alicia to just live the best version of herself. Ram and Cher also offer to forgive Alicia, and at this moment Alicia finally comes around and back to the friends group. At this moment, Diablo almost faints because of the excess mana consumption, and 5 girls all pounce on Diablo and volunteer to give their bodies to replenish Diablo's magic. Diablo starts a happy life. This is the end of the story. Alicia is accustomed to seeing the ugly side of humanity and decides to destroy humanity. Diablo insists in his own way that he should stick to the right choice in his heart, no matter what the outside world may be. The same thing has completely different views in the eyes of different people, and I hope everyone can see the good side of life. Finally, I would like to ask you a question. Which character do you like the most in this anime? Feel free to leave your answer in the comments section. Well, this is for today's anime recap. If you also like this anime, don't forget to like and follow my channel. We will continue to talk in the next video. Bye bye.